Hello there. It's August 12th, 2025. I'm Joe Weston, and we're here for our monthly Global Heart Gathering. And as always, I say it pretty much every time, but it truly comes from my heart. I can't start by saying how grateful I am and how exciting it is to see all these beautiful faces and beautiful hearts coming to resonate together. People who have been holding space together since 2017
Wow.
for quite many years, maybe about 5 years weekly, and then now monthly, and to see new faces and to know that there are people around the world who can't make us as we're actually meeting at this time on the World Wide Web together, but that are holding space with us. And what we're holding together is creating a space where we can come together, we can resonate with each other, we can hold space for each other. We can hold space for what's unfolding on this planet and see and help each other step more into the roles that we're destined to play, that we're here to play, and that many of us are already playing. So for some of us, we're beginning to recognize what that role can be. For some of us, we've been doing that for years. And I've been saying that since the beginning of the year, that what if the challenges we're facing is actually a gift to us in one level, in a sense, forcing us to recognize our gifts and our talents and our superpowers to that we can't hide anymore. And that's what I want to talk about today, and a lot of what's on my heart. And as you know, the goal of this is that we practice together. We start with me offering some words, some insights or thoughts that I'm having that we take into our practice. We then do our practice, and then we have a chance to reflect with each other, to see what's on our hearts and to share wisdom and experience. And what we're here to do is to cultivate what I call fierce compassion and resilience. And that for me, that's what this world is needing of each and every one of us, to meet the challenges of our time, to step into a more courageous, fierce level of ourselves. And that courage, in a sense, allows us to resonate from the deepest levels of our hearts and share our greatest gifts. I just saw a wonderful face show up. So, hey, Joe, it's really nice to see you. Speaking of wonderful hearts um, and, uh, uh, and with the image that I've been using for years is this idea of, I've been saying in lectures for more than 20 years now. The bad news is that the systems as we know them are crumbling. And the good news is that the systems as we know them are crumbling. And that we're in this magical place, this liminal place that for many people is it literally terror, literally oppression, literally hunger and death and starvation. And from another level, that there's an unfolding happening, and that we're here to experience the death of old systems that haven't been serving us for a while. And we're here, in essence, to be part of systems that have birthed and that are waiting to take root and to blossom. And that so we see ourselves as midwives, midwives of of a system that's dying, and midwives of a system that is being born. And as any good doula or midwife or Voetvrouw would know, um, that your role is both to be engaged in the process, but not in the process. That you're in the process with deep compassion, and yet you're holding a certain level of objectivity, and that you can be at one moment the most tender person that you need to be, and at the next moment to be the fiercest person to help that person, another person, to move through their process. And I try to see that in terms of my waking moment of how can I be of service in that way. And I want to talk about that. I've been talking about that now for a few weeks now, about the 5 different roles that we can play at this time. But I want to offer that in the context of, um, the last couple of weeks, I've been using this image of the frogs in the pot. You may know that image of the water boiling. And you know, it's that we're watching it happen day by day. And I'll tell you, having lived in DC for 13 years, and people here who are currently in the DC area, it hits home personally when you see what's unfolding, that every day it's just another disbelief and I posted this on Facebook, just many small ways of heartbreak. You know, what's the accumulative effect of these small heartbreaks over and over and over again? And so we're in this pot. And what's unfortunate, I think, is in this the work that I do with Fierce Civility, when you see this polarization that is so severe, that the frogs in the pot are so caught up in arguing with each other from who's causing the pain that they're not really looking for a way out of the pot. That they're just in the pot fighting with each other, trying to think, if I can find who's to blame, maybe the problem will go away. Not realizing that if they were to work together, they could like maybe push the water out and put out the flame, and realize that the problem is not the people, the frogs in the pot. The problem is the pot itself, the system, and the person and the system that's manipulating the fire. And that's where our focus, I think, on some level needs to be. But I want to offer something that's quite fierce. I want to bring up someone that I would consider a heroine in world history. And I just want to warn you that it's a little bit fierce in a way that, in terms of our open-heartedness, in terms of this image of where we are at this moment and what's ours to do. And when do we make that decision that there's something for us to do? And I will get to the good news that there's always something we can do. So the story starts, and I'm going to post this, I'm going to show you on a slide, this woman. Some of you may have heard of her, Freddy Overstegen. Has anybody heard of her? That's
No.
Freddy Overstegen. It's a Dutch woman. The first picture is her when she was in her teenage years during the German occupation of the Netherlands. The second picture is, of course, when she's much older, before she died. Here's the story of Freddy Overstegen. And yeah, and for those of you who are non-Dutch speaking, yes, that's how you pronounce it. Freddy Overstegen, during the World War II, was part of the Dutch resistance. She was 14 years old. Her sister was 15 years old, and a girlfriend of theirs were also 13, 14, 15, 16 years old. They did many things to support the Dutch resistance. One of the things that they did was they would seduce German soldiers. They would promise them a kiss. They would take them into the woods. And once they got them into the woods, they would shoot them dead. That was Freddy Overstegen at the age of 14. I'd like you to let that sink in just for a second.
Oh, damn.
Does anybody have an initial response to that? Just before we go on.
He was
Well, that's pretty
14.
fierce.
Sorry?
That was pretty fierce.
That's pretty fierce. Yeah.
Courageous is immensely courageous. It's what comes up for me initially.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go the other end and say that was just evil.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
I don't hold that, but that was certainly one thing that my first reaction was, oh, that's my kind of girl. And my second reaction was, well, that's evil.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's so sad because she has to live with that memories the rest of her life.
Yeah. Mayra, did you want to say? Oh, sorry, Ali.
Yeah, I feel a sort of like horror in a way. I felt fear for the girls. I actually thought you were going to say they would have sex with the men, or I'm thinking of, and I feel horror that they killed a man or they killed a person. It feels so violent.
Yeah, yeah. I warned you all. It was a little fierce. And, yeah,
Very
Mayra?
morally ambiguous, right? It's like doing good, but while not doing well, good. That's an amazing story. Thanks.
Meeting violence.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So finally for me, where I land with this is Kali. Kali is the
Huh.
Hmm. The goddess, the Indian goddess Kali. You want to say a little bit, a couple of more sentences for people who might not know who Kali is?
Mm. Um, in this context, for me, she's the goddess that sees what's going on, and in order to write it, she may need to take some heads. And she actually, in depictions, has a belt of skulls of the heads that she's taken.
Yeah.
And when she does that, she does it in the highest good. But it's the fiercest. It's so then the question for me becomes, when I lop a head, figuratively, was that my baser, uglier, mean self, or was Kali moving through me?
Mhm. I think that's beautiful. And there's, if we had 4.5 hours, we can continue to discuss.
Yeah.
But it's great to touch on this. Alain, you wanted to share something?
Yeah, to give it some context, I'm Jewish, second generation. My parents survived the Shoah, and I'm living in the Netherlands. What came to me was, oi, this has consequences.
Yeah.
It has consequences for her and her sister. They have to carry the burden their whole life that they have killed people. And also, most of the time, when something like this happened, the Germans didn't leave it unpunished, and they would take people from the streets, and for one German soldier, just shoot 10 people
Yeah.
from the village. So, you know, that came to me, and I will stop here, but because it brings a lot of next questions.
Yeah.
But that was my response.
Yeah. I'm appreciating all the different responses, and I'm appreciating the way we're holding it, that we're not claiming to be right about any of it, and we're not claiming to have the definitive answer. We're just sharing what's on our hearts, and we're examining. We're just going into a deeper examination of a moment in history. And as I said, there's much more to share, and there's a reason to bring it up. Like I said, you know, I wanted to bring this in because, first of all, I want to make it clear, I'm not advocating that we go seduce soldiers and we shoot them in the woods. I'm certainly not suggesting that. However, I am bringing up, this was 80 years ago, and this was a choice that this young woman made. She had to make a choice, or she felt like she needed to make a choice. And I'm bringing that up if you take a look at what's transpiring now and the direction things are going in, with the extreme polarization, with the level of aggression, with where governments are going, with a lack of compassion for starvation, for the plight of others. Again, trying not to have any judgment. I'm simply trying to say, I believe we're getting to a point where we're all being called to make some kind of a decision. And that's what I've been advocating for. And how do we, with this community, in terms of with this fierce compassion, what can we do on a day-to-day basis to offer support to others? I don't believe that we need to make those decisions. There might be people in other parts of the world who have to literally consider that. I am grateful that at this moment, in this time, on this day, that I don't have to make that decision. And I'm hoping that you don't either. And I think it's just healthy for us to at least consider that we may come to a point where that might be the case. And then, but what can we do? And I think for me, what I'm getting with the fear civility work is that I don't think fear civility has the capacity to solve all of our world problems. Maybe it can. If we tested it out, we can examine. What I do think that fierce civility can do, and that is a crucial point, is to shift us out of the stagnation of our polarization, shift us out of either being an aggressive stance or a passive stance. And that what I think we're being called to, for those of us who don't want to use aggression and feel powerless because we don't have other strategies, is what can we do here? What can we do to cultivate our practices within ourselves to step out of the passivity and shift into what my alternative is receptivity. That's a first step. Just feel that in your body for a moment. What is passive? And then feel in your body, if you were to step into that more, what is receptive? And again, I want to show you a slide. And in this presentation that I'm doing, I'm offering 5 roles that we can play, that I'll just discuss them briefly. And I'll just give an example of how every day we can, in a sense, be doing something. So what are the 5 roles that we can step into as acts of service? And I call them the refuge, the soother, the nurturer, the protector, the transformer. Not all of us are wired to become government officials or protest, who are the transformers. I talked at the last Global Heart, or 2 times ago, about those who are stepping up and protecting those in LA as the protectors. But there's also plenty of us who can step out of our passivity and take on a more receptive role of the refuge, of simply holding space for people, to create safe haven for people as the refuge. The soother, to those who are really in a lot of pain, to give them some sense of relief of their pain. And of the nurturer, is how can we support people step more into their gifts and into their power, and heal and reconcile. I believe that, at least I'm seeing that, is that I walk through the day and I think, as I come across people, I think, who can I be of service to play an active role? And I can always create safe space for someone. It could simply be just a smile, right? There are so many things that we can do and the thing that I'm still working on to believe, because I do believe it, is that that has an impact. Every small action transforms it all. And the time for us now is to step into that. And the image I use, and none of them are more important than another. For instance, the image I use, imagine a forest fire. What I think we're seeing play out in the world right now is that there are people who are running in the opposite direction. They're running away from the problems. Or they're stuck frozen and just staring at, like a bystander, at the fire burning. They don't do anything. Or so that was flight, you have freeze, or you have people arguing with each other, who started the fire, what's the best way to put out the fire? No one's doing anything, they're just arguing with each other. That's fight. So what if the first person just goes against that instinct of fight, flight, freeze, and runs towards the fire to save people? They step into the role of protector. And what if another person says, I've got some water hoses or some water buckets, I'm going to go in and I'm going to start dumping water on it? That's the transformer. They're transforming the situation. Then another person says, that's not me, I'm not running into fires, but I can set up a tent and create safe space for people. That's the refuge. And then other people can be at the tent and calming people down and helping them find their loved ones. That's the soother. And lastly, there can be nurses there and doctors and people who can give water to the people who are suffering, but also to the first responders. That's the nurturer. Each person plays a role, and all of those roles are necessary to get the best outcome for everyone involved. So I wanted to just bring this in. Again, I stepped a little more into the fierceness to really get us feeling what is, in a sense, flowing at our time, and what we're doing in this practice. If someone has a burning comment they want to say, please do, otherwise we'll go into the practice. We'll have time afterwards to share. Maybe someone who didn't share anything or feels there's something on your heart. Okay. Well, let's bring that into our practice and bring into your practice exactly who you are now in your nervous system. And I'll be leading you through this. Some of you have been doing this for quite a long time. Some of you for the first time. The one thing to say with this practice is there's no right way to do this or wrong way to do this. It's about finding your way. And what we're here to do again is to stretch our capacities of holding more beings in our heart in a way that doesn't burn us out, that doesn't overstress us, like an athlete stretching their capacity to be able to run longer, or a pole vaulter who can spring higher. I just mixed up my Dutch and English there, if you noticed. And resilience. And our definition of resilience that we work with is presence, awareness, balance, and flow. So let's start with our posture, power sit, sitting in a way where your body is, where your spine is straight without being rigid. Relaxing your jaw, your shoulders, your belly. And with this posture, as we're sitting in this, now coming to bringing awareness to your core in your lower belly, what we call the center. And how I identify that is that it's the width of 3 fingers below your navel and 1/3 of the way into the body. So if you put your fingers together and you bring your index finger over your navel and you, where your pinky resides, that's the width of 3 fingers below your navel. From that point, bring your attention now inside of your body, about 1/3 of the way into the body. And see if you can place your full attention on that spot. If it feels safe for you, close your eyes. If it doesn't feel safe for you to close your eyes, then simply look down towards the ground, softening your eyes. This is your center of gravity, of impulse, gut wisdom, where your personal power resides, and your center of awareness, how you perceive your reality. And from your center of your place of personal power and perception, now become aware of your contact points, the parts of your body that are connecting with what you're sitting on and the ground. Really feeling the surfaces of those parts of the body, the glutes, the back of your thighs, the feet, and the contact that they're making with the chair, the cushion, the floor. From those points, you're gathering information of what's beneath you, feeling the stability under you. As you communicate that to your brain, that there is stability under you, the brain will activate the proper hormones to allow you to relax, release, and be held. It's almost a sweet lullaby to whisper to your nervous system, you are held. In this practice, if energy wants to move through you, let it flow. If emotions want to flow through you, let them flow. All emotions are welcome. And we use this time to bring more awareness to the present moment, starting with yourself. And in power sit with coming from your center, always holding on a sense of your contact points from your center, become aware of your physical body. Let the body speak to you. Learn the body's vocabulary through sensation, tension, relaxation, rhythm of breath, rhythm of heartbeat, tiredness, hunger. Body's always speaking from wisdom. Learn its language. From your center, become aware of your emotional body. What emotions are you present to in this moment? And without judgment, see if you can give them space. No need to do anything with them, simply notice them. From your center, become aware of your mental body. Not necessarily what you're thinking, but the quality of your thoughts, without judgment. Are they tight and judgmental? Are they spacious and generous? Notice. And maintain a connection with your core, your personal power and perception. And now bring awareness to your heart, the middle of your chest, your heart center, where your heart power resides. Compassion, respect, connection, your highest values. And from your center and from your heart, become aware of that part of you which has connection and access to something larger than yourself. Be curious. And from your heart and from your center, as you connect with that part of you that has access to something larger than yourself, what is your connection in this moment to something larger than yourself? Could be something spiritual, could be humanity, love. The universe. What is your relationship and what is your connection in this moment to something larger than yourself? And feeling Mother Earth under you, holding you, flowing up through you, and that which is larger than yourself flowing down through you. Allow that to flow out through and out your personal space, out to your personal boundaries. Filling your personal space in all directions. In front of you, behind you, all around you. Rich and alive. And with this awareness of a deeper sense of yourself in this present moment, from your center and from your heart, take a full breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. And building on this present moment from your center and from your heart, holding on to your connection with yourself. From your center and from your heart, become aware of your surroundings. Without needing to look, open up your awareness from your heart and your core in all directions. What does that mean to connect with your surroundings from your heart and from your personal power? How are you being influenced by your surroundings in this moment? Allowing energy to flow and emotions to flow. And with more of an awareness of yourself and your surroundings in this present moment, from your center and from your heart, take a full breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. And maintaining a connection with yourself and your surroundings in this present moment, now from your center and from your heart, become aware of those others in this meditation circle. Those of you who are holding space in this moment, in this practice. from various parts of Europe, various parts of North America, as well as other parts of the world. Your capacity in this moment from your heart and from your personal power to connect with others. And in what ways might you be impacting them? And in what ways are they impacting you? Allowing energy to flow and emotions to flow. Expanding your heart capacity. And now with this awareness of yourself, your surroundings, and those in this meditation circle, from your center and from your heart, take a full deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. And building on this awareness now, maintaining connection with yourself, your surroundings, and those in this meditation circle. From your center and from your heart, become aware of all human beings, beginning with those human beings you would label loved ones. And surprise yourself. Who arises in your heart when you think loved one? How many faces can you see? How many groups of people? Could be 3, could be 3,000, could be more. Who arises in your heart? Can you hold them in your heart? Allowing energy to flow and emotions to flow. Imagine now standing or sitting face to face with them, and you from your personal power with honor and respect, connecting with their personal power. And with your heart, with honor and respect, connecting with their heart. And maybe focusing on 1, maybe 2, maybe 3, but maybe just choose 1 for now for the practice. And just consider from your heart, ask the question, how can I be of service to you in this moment? And what role can I play to help you manifest that? Might that be refuge, toevlucht? Might that be the soother, kalmeren? Might that be the nurturer, the protector, the transformer? Let their heart give you an answer and rejoice in whatever that answer might be. And from your center and from your heart, become aware of those human beings you would label stranger. And surprise yourself. Who arises in your heart? What faces do you see? What groups of people? How many strangers can you hold in your heart? That could be a neighbor. It could be someone you see at the supermarket every week. It could be someone you see in the news or in the newspaper. Various parts of the world. How many can you hold in your heart without taxing yourself? And can you zero in on 1, 2, or 3 and really get a picture of who they are, their age, their whatever their gender might be, their skin color? And as you connect from your personal power and heart, connecting with honor and respect with their personal power and their heart, and asking the question from your heart, in what way can I be of service and what role can I play? Can I somehow be refuge for you? Can I somehow be soother for you? Can I somehow be nurturer for you, protector, transformer? Maybe see their hearts come alive as they have someone that's willing to show attention and support, and see if their heart can give you an answer. Allowing energy to flow and emotions to flow. And from your heart and from your center now, connecting in with those human beings you would label adversary. Noticing if any shift happens in your open-heartedness, your level of safety, presence, connection. And surprise yourself. Who arises in your heart? How many adversaries can you see? What faces do you see? What groups of people? Be honest, be compassionate with yourself. Noticing what your breath is like. And see if it's possible from your center, personal power in your heart with honor and respect to connect with their personal power and their heart. From your heart, genuinely asking the question, is there some way I can alleviate your suffering? I can be of support, service. Can I some way be your refuge, your soother, your nurturer, your protector, your transformer? They may not give an answer. They may. It's about not so much the results, it's more about the practice. And with more of an awareness now, I don't know, just hold that for a moment. Just notice the level of your open-heartedness, the capacity to hold all human beings, loved ones, strangers, and adversaries. And just activate within your heart sort of a active thing for each person, each adversary, stranger, and loved one. But what if, Stelia 4, that every human being wakes up every morning and this is part of their daily practice? And see it. See every human being actively asking every other human being, whether they're loved one, stranger, or adversary, what role can I play to be of support to you in this moment? See the world transforming, the human family transforming, which will instantly transform all creatures on this planet, which would instantly transform the planet itself, herself. And take a moment to rejoice. A planet filled with refuge, soothers, nurturers, protectors, and transformers. A world free of aggressors and defenders. And with this awareness in your heart, from your center and from your heart, take a full deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. Noticing your capacity of open-heartedness, presence, awareness, balance, and flow, your state of being. Now allowing all human beings to flow into your heart as you bring your awareness and connection back to those in this meditation circle. Just take a moment to honor those who are holding space with you, practicing with you, committed with you. And with honor and respect, breathe and allow those in this meditation circle to flow into your heart as you bring your awareness back to your surroundings. And just fill your surroundings with your practice, with your experience, with your expansion of capacity, anchoring it in your here and now, your acupuncture point on the planet. And with gratitude for your surroundings, allow the surroundings to flow into your heart as you bring your awareness back to yourself. And take a moment from your center and from your heart to connect with your center and your heart. And with the deepest level of love and compassion, ask yourself, in what way can I serve you? Dear one, how can I be refuge for you? How can I be soother for you? How could I be nurturer for you? Protector, transformer. Imagine making that a daily practice to yourself. Allowing now the benefits of this practice to flow into every cell of your body, activating and energizing, bringing to life your cells, flowing into every organ of your body, nurturing and healing, flowing into your nervous system as a way of it opslaan, it's save, like on the computer, to save it, to restore this in your system, to remember. And as a way to close this practice, let's take one final breath. Deep, deep, deep in your heart and core, in through your nose, out through your mouth. See if you can hold on to your experience without shifting anything, but slowly open your eyes, look around the room. Look into the little boxes, see the beautiful faces, the beautiful hearts. Shake your body, stretch your body, bring yourself back into activity. We manifested a Jill, a magical angel called Jill Simpson as we were practicing, and Olivia and Elisa. Remarkable how good we are. So that we started with a motivation. We did our practice. Now we have a chance to reflect. We did a little bit of contemplation along the way. Anybody want to share what's on your heart, what you experienced in the practice, or anything that came up with you in our talk, or anything else that's just coming up for you? We have a little bit of time now. Don't raise your hand. Don't ask permission. Just unmute and begin.
I just start. When I was looking at the adversaries, I was holding back. It felt unsafe. I closed my heart. And then you ask, what can you do? And I didn't want to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
And then I thought, oh, but all together we can. And then I felt all your hearts. And then I thought, oh, yes, that's what we're doing. We're making every month this together.
Mm.
And then you asked, what if the whole world will do this? It became light.
Mm.
There was no problem at all.
Mm.
So thank you all.
Mm.
Thank you, Joe.
Mm. Thank you, dear one. Thank you. Yeah, there's so much power in that, is that if we feel like we can't do it alone, we can always realize we have connections with others, and together we can do it. That's so beautiful. And also to remember that on one level, this is a practice. So because I know you do this practice every day, so you just know what your capacity is. It's like an athlete. You know, I can only jump 1 meter in the air. I know I've got to get to 2 meters, but I'm not there yet. I'm only at 1 meter. So I've just got to practice. And every day I can go a little bit more. So we're honest and truthful to your capacity at that moment. And yet you still found a way in that transcended just the individual you. Prachtig,
Yeah.
mooi. Thank you.
And thank you all. And it's so strange. I only saw Shelley in real life, and you, Joe, and your friends.
Mm.
I've never seen you in real life. So we don't have to take a plane and go everywhere. This is the simplest way to do.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. I can't get my camera to work, but I have something I want to say. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
I was challenged on this very point you were making with that young woman from Amsterdam who stood up and did what she felt she had to do. I was raised as a pacifist in southeastern Pennsylvania at a Peace Church, Church of the Brethren. And I was 4F for military service because I have a bad right eye. but I wanted to get to Saigon. And so I found this organization called International Voluntary Service, a benevolent organization. And I went with them in 66. And I was there in 68 and 69 during the May Offensive when the NLF, the Viet Cong, ran up close to the Tan Son Nhut airport where our headquarters was. And we were told by our supervisors to run up to the one area up a stairs and into an area and stay there. And I was given a grease gun, and I was told to be at the top of the stairs. And if they came running up, I would take care of them. And I thought, I don't think I could do that. I'm a pacifist, but I was put in that situation, and I speak some Vietnamese, so I was thinking, I know one phrase in Vietnamese called "Dum Bang," and that means don't shoot. And I thought, I don't know if that'll work or not. Well, I never was tested on that, but I know that if they did come up the stairs, it was my job to protect these women and men and our Vietnamese staff who worked at headquarters. And I knew that I would probably shoot. And I realized I really was not a conscientious objector, which I thought I was until that point. So I just wanted to share that.
Mm.
Thank you, Robert. Thank you for your courage to share that. Thank you for that story. And that comes into the second too. Like I talked a bit about the protector. Is that this is the work I did in the Middle East, helping teach men how to stop beating their wives, was to go from aggressor to this idea of aggression to assertiveness, from the aggressor to the protector, that there's an alternative in a sense. And you just named it. You said, if I had to do it, the way I would frame it for myself is I'm protecting the other people. And I'm that's my interpretation of it. I'm not saying that's what it is. But
Yeah,
thank
it
you for
was.
sharing. Thank you for your vulnerability and courage to share that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ali, anything you want to share or?
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I could. Yeah, good to meet you all. I was just realizing I'm, new. I can feel that there may be others that haven't been here before, but there's also a very long-standing community of practitioners following your practice, Joe, and I really honor you all. And yeah, I found it, a lot of sadness came up, fell into sadness straight away as you started leading the practice, Joe. And I mean, I know you've got North Americans here, and there's me, I'm in Europe, and just last night I was listening to a testimony, like a spoken account of a man who was detained in Guantanamo Bay like for 14 years. And so I actually sort of started to panic as I was listening to. I feel the thing I feel, I can feel it in my arms now, but just the thing I feel most sort of afraid of, and I just keep contemplating, is the way that we as humans torture each other, and thinking, like you were saying, Alan, to be it in a concentration camp, be it in a prison, be it in Guantanamo Bay, be it in a home, if it's a violent abuser of a more physically vulnerable person in a home. The torture of that, and so I thought, I think I'm panicking here. And I was walking and listening to this. I was walking outside in nature, and I was afraid to listen to it. And then I decided to be brave because I want to be alongside him and everyone. And I said to myself, okay, a friend is a Zen practitioner. I have done meditation, but he'd said, breathe into your belly. So I was trying to do that. So I really appreciate this practice today, because I think it's very much in that same space of, I want to hold this. I want to be alongside. I want to be with us all, and not to turn my gaze from the fact that this is happening. And so then in the contemplations, I actually was bringing to mind the torturer, and trying to feel into what he is. You know, he's a human just like me. I am him, he is me. And what he needs. I'm sorry if that sounds a bit provocative, but that was what was in my mind. And actually, that was in the first stage of, I think that was maybe friends or people in our lives. And just to say, to bring my sharing to a close, funnily enough, when it finally, I realized then you were going through different stages. I had different people arising in each stage, but the torture was very much in my mind as it arises in my mind. Thank goodness I haven't met that in this life, but I just, that's me. Anyway, when it came to adversary, the person that came was actually a loved one most close in my life. So yeah, so that I just appreciate it's better to feel these things, and I know that's what this practice is about. So thank you so much, and I look forward to continuing the journey and strengthening my capacity to lean into this and be a loving leader for our world.
Thank you, Ali. So beautiful. First of all, there's no apologies here. And that is what the practice is, understanding that it's on the power we have is on our side, and the practice is to soften the rigidity we have around the labels, right? Around the loved one, stranger, and you've just identified that in such an exquisite way that actually the torturer came up as friend, and on some level, I don't remember, I'm interpreting what you're saying, and that a loved, someone loved one close to you was your adversary. That's the point, is that, you know, who arises and why, and what is that for you in this moment? And to continue to find out where we're rigid and where we're hardening our hearts, and with love and attention and practice to soften that, not to become soft, but you understand that you know, this idea, it's in your vulnerability and your softness that your true power is revealed. So thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Anyone else? A couple more minutes.
Very
Joe?
sweet little.
Oh,
Oh, sorry.
hey, Paulina.
Go ahead, Joe.
You sure?
Help me. Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
You go first.
Go, Paulina. Go, Paulina.
thank you for the wonderful practice. It was a long time ago, so for me it was really wonderful to reconnect with that. And the beautiful thing was, when we finished, I opened my eyes, and the first creature which approached me was a four-legged, and they just feel this, and so it's so fast, this kind of practice, because you can nurture. Nature responds to this. This is exactly what nature and the four-leggeds and the birds, and they need this. They want us to be part of that life, and that touches me so much. Every time we do Tai Chi, every time I do this, the dogs are just laying down next to us, and they're just they're there, and that's just, well, that's what I wanted to share. Thank you.
Thank you, Al. Thank you. And there's Mark there in the background, the two-legged.
Yeah.
Mr. Joe?
Yeah, I'm grateful for this, Joe, and the framing that you gave was helpful to me. So often I think, you know, when we're engaging in this world, it's either you're either for or against. So whatever the point of view is, you're either for it or you're against it, and so those are the opposites, or you choose to disengage. And what you've given us is not just one, but I think it was five, maybe four or five ways of engaging that isn't a for or an against. And that's really helpful to me. So I could say, what could I do in this world, as opposed to constantly taking a side or disengaging, is the refuge and the transformer for me. were two that, okay, yeah, that's the place I can be, regardless of what side I may be on internally. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank
Yeah.
you for mirroring that. And and I would say I've been doing this work of transformational leadership and transforming cultures and things like that. Transformation really can't happen unless there is safety and trust. So it can't happen without refuge and soothing. It just can't.
Yeah.
I mean, change can happen, but that could be traumatic change. But transformation, which is sustainable and resilient and healthy, it has to have a foundation of safety and trust,
Yeah.
refuge and soothing.
So maybe with this whole group, there's other players that we could bring together to provide everything that's needed for transformation. Yeah. To someone else's point earlier. Yeah.
Esther, you're muted. You're still.
It's like you need to connect your mic to a different one or something. It's if under the little arrow of the mic, maybe.
Can you talk now? Talk now? No, I don't understand. Oh, that's weird. Oh, Esther. Can I do something here? I guess I can.
Esther, do you want to just, that little arrow next to the microphone symbol? Is there, if you click on that, is there a chance to choose a different microphone? No. Okay.
You want to type in a few words? Sorry, Esther. Anybody else have a last word before we sum up?
I was happy to be reminded of, or Joe, just with Ali, your share, because during the adversary, I also had a really good friend show up, and initially I'm like, whoa, had resistance around it. I'm like, no, and she just kept being there. I'm like, okay, we're just gonna let that be and be curious. And so I would feel very grateful to be reminded of the fluidity that different people that are unexpected can show up in different moments in different places, and that's okay, and just being curious of what that is. So
yeah, thank you. Esther, any luck? No. Okay.
She wrote something.
Oh,
Joe.
she did. Oh, Esther, the song that is such a soothing song right now from Hades down, we raise our cup to them, so beautiful. Oh, I'll go and listen to it. We raise our cup to them. I'll go listen. Thank you. Okay, so thank you. Oh, George, you want to say something real quick?
Just I went back to the soldiers who were shot and the police who were being federalized in DC at this moment. And realizing they're caught between a rock and a hard place.
Yeah. Yeah. They have choices to make.
Yeah.
Right. So they're at the point where they have to make choices. I'm going to DC because I'm going to DC next week. So it's going to be interesting to be there. I'm hoping to see some of you there. Anyway, thank you for bringing that in, George. And I mentioned it briefly, but yeah, they're just watch the news or what you just see. There are people who are getting to that point where they have to make a choice. And what can we do to be in the process of that, to ease that for some people who have more drastic choices than we have to make? And the blessings that we don't have to make radical choices like that or Freddie Overstreet. Okay, so let's dedicate the energies based on that for those in DC, for those in LA, for those in Gaza, for those around the world who are struggling and suffering, being forced to make these decisions and being forced to make, yeah. May the practice that we did touch them in a way that makes that eases them in their own torment and helps them find their peace and their resilience. And may the efforts that we have just done with this practice just multiply and touch every being on this planet in a way that really brings about refuge, soothing, nurturing, protection, and transformation. Okay, so here are the links. I'm putting them in the chat. If you want to make a donation to the Civility project, please do. There's a link there for that. That goes towards creating events like this. There's many ways to get in touch. If you want to read these articles that I've done on the 5 roles, I'm sending them out as newsletters. Get on the mailing list. Get some Occupy Here merchandise, Occupy Your Heart. That's a way of maybe transforming, maybe creating refuge. We hit 5,000 views on the TEDx talk. Woohoo! So if you want to help me get to my next goal of 10,000, watch it again if you've seen it,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
and tell about 1,300 people you know to watch it, and then we'll get there very quickly. And then there's other links on social media. And as always, I'm incredibly grateful. If you're in the DC area, get in touch. I'm actually leading on Friday the 22nd. I'm leading a stress reduction meetup, which I think DC could really use right now or anywhere in the world. If you're in the Amsterdam area, I'm doing every Friday a weekly warm-up, which is also stress reduction live. And put this in your calendar, come every week and tell people about this. And the more we can gather this energy, and generate this energy, the more impact we can have. So thank you very much to each and every one of you. Please be safe. Please reach out. If you're struggling, please know we're Refuge here. I'm offering that. I'm here to support, and we're here to support each other. Please take care of yourself in that way, and let's stay in touch. Okay.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you,
Bye,
everybody.
everyone.
Thank you, Joe. Bye, everyone.